Tyrone once again, I'm on some other shit. I'm thinking about them long nights when my mother speak. That crap rock had a hook, made she rest in peace. Some nights I couldn't sleep, so I ran the streets. I'm in the zone thinking why this gotta be my life. The trap shit got me stressing, I ain't eating right. I'm looking for a blessing, Lord, please send a sign. Remember, not even looking for it at dinner time. It's been a time.
Well, my name is Chili O. That's what the streets call me. I got that name as a kid, but you can call me Omar Mitchell, designer. Well, fashion always been a passion of mine, I must say. Started out from a very peculiar way. I used to be a street merchant, and I used to sell clothes out of my trunk, you know, like the hustle man in all the neighborhoods and all that. But they didn't know I had an eye for fashion. And I guess I was styling a lot of these artists that were coming out of Atlanta, the mainstream artists like Titty Boy from DDP, T.I. He bought one of my street sign shirts from back in the day, it said Bankhead. But the first rappers mainstream that really put me on, you probably won't guess what, is the Yin Yang Twins, D-Rock, you know. So took it from a merchant standpoint, and I figured out like, hey, like I know the psychology behind this. I probably can do this with my own brand. And fashion has become so, at least from an urban standpoint, it's become so, how can I say it? So commercial, because the rapper, it's either a rapper-based line, and there's not the original designer anymore, like the Carl Kanais, the Maurice Malones, so on and so forth. So I felt like it's time for Chili O to bring that back. And I just took a risk and did it, man. You take Picasso and take like some fly kid out the hood and say, hey, I want to buy that, that's hot, you know? So that I'm challenging myself for taking fine art and trying to simplify it, you know, and make it hot. You see him on this bike, you know, the Joker, signed by Nigel Sylvester, you know. So since I was 11 years old, I've been riding this bike, jumping them in the air and falling, getting scraped up. I always like that style, you know. I always like the risk taking of the sport, and just the rebellious like expression that a lot of those kids had. And it's like, I always felt kind of insecure about incorporating the action sports, but I didn't want to become like a cookie cutter brand, like, oh, you're just trying to be like Ice Cream, Billionaire Boy Club. But I'm like, I actually do this, you know? So that's like one of my heavy influence, especially as it applies to African Americans. I want to see, just like I've been over in that neighborhood for a while now, I want my friends from that neighborhood to come to my neighborhood and see how we do things and see how the sport has manifested, especially when it comes to style. Chili O's a lifestyle. It's not just, it's like, I'm a firm believer in the saying that man makes the clothes, clothes don't make the man. You know what I mean? Like you can take anything, like if you have chi, which is the new replacement word for swag, it's chi now. You have chi, you know, you can take that, whatever you wear, and you make it exemplify who you are. Chili O is a lifestyle brand. So in 5 years, like Chili O is going to be that brand the way it could be a mouse pad, and you'll respect that. It could be iPod earphones. You know, it could be stitched into the seat of your car. It could be on a watch. You know, and we also get into the extreme sports lane, which is another avenue. So it's not just about clothing with us. You know, the future for Chili O is going to be great. I think we're going to do a parody of the ATLian shirts that have been popular. We've been selling. Of course, you got to give credit to Twan and Dre for that from Outkast. Twan gave me his blessings to do that shirt, so we'll probably do a parody of the ATLian, because the whole Outkast movement, not only have they broken many records in hip hop, they kind of exemplify what SMKA is about, what Chili O is about, like universalism, not being in a box, like taking a risk, stepping out, be yourself, everything I mentioned earlier. And why not? You know, like let's immortalize the ATLian SMKA and keep it within the traditions of Southern music, but this is SMKA like Outkast is a progression of music, and that's what you're gonna hear from a lot of artists. So I'm very proud for them to be wearing the Chilio brand on their backs. It's gonna be sensational, phenomenal. Let me get my Don King on. It's gonna be extrapolational, you know, situation, you know. So, like, let's get it.
I gotta grind for the cost, I'm on a money mission. It's only 2 or 3 channels on my television. I gotta get it.
Never giving up, 'cause I came too far.